This is Seymour Rocks reporting from Down Under. I'm just going to do a quick run through of conditions because everyone is saying just how prematurely warm things are in the Arctic. I've been quite surprised compared with earlier in the winter. That methane seems to have calmed down in in Siberia. You can see sort of the usual activity off the coast of Novaya Zemlya and also some in Siberia. But then the real centres are all these areas that are releasing lots of methane. See this in Western Russia and in Europe, and then of course there's China and India are the big centres for methane. So yeah, so we'll just go on from there. This is the article that caught my attention today. Alaska's insanely warm spring is killing animals and people. So this spring in Alaska has been more like summer or like the same season for somewhere much warmer. What it has not been like is the usual March or April above the Arctic Circle. The consequences are being felt in devastating effects on the local wildlife, but are taking a toll on humans as well. On March, the average temperature of Kotzebue on the northwest coast was -5 degrees Celsius, it's 23 degrees Fahrenheit, 12 degrees Celsius or 21 degrees above normal. The rest of northern Alaska was not far behind. The Alaska Climate Research Center reports that there is a 4.1 degrees Celsius or 7.4 degrees higher than the previous March record, and the majority of the state had its warmest record ever. So let's just have a look at a couple of the other things. Now this is the ice thickness over the past 30 days, and you can see it on the move, moving down here. There's only a small amount of very, very thick ice down here, just off the coast of Canada. Yeah, it's getting very, very thin and has disappeared on the southern slopes of Novaya Zemlya. And of course it's gone, as we know, from the Bering Strait. That's been talked about. Yeah, so that's that, and let's just go to some of the temperatures. So at 6.9 degrees Celsius, just between Iceland and Greenland. If we go up to Svalbard, it's about -4.2, although I bet if I go in further, probably, yeah, here we are. That's 2 degrees Celsius. So we've still got this very kind of warm area. And then just on this side of Svalbard, it's -9.1, -5.7. Between Novaya Zemlya and Yamal Peninsula, it's much colder, it's -13. Yeah, and up towards, I think this is about the pole, it's about -15 degrees Celsius. And then down here in the Bering Strait, it's about -3.7, -2.3, minus 3.4. So those are pretty warm conditions. Perhaps not quite enough to melt the ice completely, but I would hate to think about what the quality of the ice is at this stage. So I think that's probably about it. Oh yes, wait a minute, we had, let me see, I can't remember where I had it. Climate reanalyzer. And this is how it looks like at the moment in terms. So this is up to between 10 and 20 degrees warmer than usual in this sector of, well, actually most of the Arctic and the polar region. It's a little bit colder this sector, and quite a bit colder in the very north of Canada. So that's really how it's looking. And this is how it looks, of course. You've got to take into account when looking at this what constitutes sea coverage. You need to look at that in conjunction with the sea ice thickness. And we'll just have a quick look. Of course, it doesn't. These are the sea temperature anomalies. The areas where you can see it's warmer than usual is up in this region, because those are the regions that are ice-free here, right on the edge. And of course, anything here that measures as ice cover does not count. But we can get an idea of that from Nullschool. So that's probably giving a reasonable enough idea of what's going on at the moment. So I'll finish it there.